I think I figured out my next one. Yeah, I think I have it figured out. Just give me a second to find the ideal one visually. Okay. My fiance's home. Um yeah, I figured it out. Just stand by, stand by. Okay. All right, next tier list. Give me a sec here. Okay. All right, next tier list. Ready to go. And that is Batman villains ranked by how good of a Pokemon trainer they'd be. We've got Master Trainer, takes good care of them, decent slash mediocre, bad role model, and getting arrested as our tiers. Um, so we'll start with Harley. Harley would be a Master Trainer. Uh Harley would be amazing as a Pokemon trainer. She'd one of her she'd have a Mime Junior. Um, and you know it would grow into a Mr. Mime, um and as her relationship with Joker got worse, she would not hold that against her Mr. Mime. Um because you know Mr. Mime is his own Pokemon, and her Mr. J, which is Mr. J, which is what she's nicknamed her. Mr. J Jr. Is what she's nicknamed her Mr. Mime. He's sweet to her, you know, and he's a good Pokemon. So she wouldn't hold that against him, and she'd have a whole crew that she would enter in battles and contests, and they would fucking like do stellar in both, right? She's just a fucking pro. She's incredible. She eventually, like, after she's left Joker, she's eventually like an Elite Four member. uh is I'm having trouble telling. Is this Killer Croc? Yeah, that's Killer Croc, right? Killer Croc, I would say, lands on bad role model, right? He initially, like, he discovers Totodile, right? And he discovers Sandile and Feraligatr. Um and he realizes that they're quasi sentient and that they can kind of communicate with him, and he initially is like, "Oh, these are my kind," right? But eventually he does kind of realize that he has a level of intelligence and sentience that are above them. And he just realizes he just has a bunch of dumb pets now. And he just kind of like, he doesn't even put them in their Pokeball. He just kind of leaves them to their own devices. Um, and that does unfortunately wind up kind of equating to neglect instead of giving them independence. Um, so yeah, I'd say Killer Croc, not a very good role model. Um, I wish I could make these a little bigger for myself. I think that's Clayface. Clayface would, yeah. Clayface is getting arrested. He doesn't have sympathy for these creatures. He views them as tools. Um, and and yeah, like as a Pokemon trainer, he's just kind of still uh not only is he still committing crimes, but he's using the Pokemon for the crimes now, right? Um, and he, yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. You have a mental image of Killer Croc swimming through Gotham sewers and half a dozen Gator slash Croc team Pokemon swimming after him like ducklings following their mother. Yeah, that's early days. That's Killer Croc when he starts as a trainer. But he it doesn't pan out great. The Riddler, the Riddler takes good care of his Pokemon. He finds like he discovers that Pokemon can be very intelligent and that there are Pokemon out there that are capable of solving his riddles. So he becomes like a collector. He seeks out and finds these smart Pokemon and just has like a gaggle of them. You know, he has an Alakazam. He found out that Mewtwo exists and that Mewtwo is like smarter than most humans, and he is like trying to chase Mewtwo down and find him. And that, like, you know, that kind of might slide him down here because he's not super respecting the agency of his Pokemon. He kind of wants them under his tutelage, but ultimately, like, he yeah, the thing is that if he finds a Pokemon that he thinks is smart and winds up not being smart, there's a bit of uh he definitely has preferential treatment, right? Like the most intelligent Pokemon are treated the best by him. So when he gets a Pokemon that winds up not being that smart, he doesn't abuse them or anything, but like uh yeah, lets his favoritism show a bit too much. So he'll be kind of higher up on decent mediocre, but I think takes good care of them is a bit strong. Uh Black Mask getting a red, like not yeah, Black Mask like hits his Pokemon and he fucking sucks. He fucking sucks. Officer Jenny like takes him away like within 3 days of getting a starter. He fucking sucks. Who is this? Is that Talia? Will I will I fuck up the way this looks if I zoom in? I think that is Talia. That doesn't look too bad. That looks kind of nice actually. I should have done this sooner. Okay, if this is Talia, honestly, yeah, I think. Well, we're putting her in decent mediocre actually because like she can barely raise her own son, right? Right? Like I was thinking she'd be kind of nurturing and motherly to whatever Pokemon she has. Um, she'd I think she'd have like a Pawniard that she would kind of dote over. Um, and she would definitely have like a Crobat that reminds her of a certain someone. But ultimately, like Talia has an army of extremely obedient Greninja. She does have at least one Greninja. You're right. Um, yeah, I'd say because because Pokemon are lower maintenance than children, I'd say she takes pretty good care of her Pokemon. Damien actually resents her Pokemon team because he feels they get a bit more attention than he does. Who is this? Is this Firefly or is that Deadshot? I think that's Deadshot. Deadshot's a bad role model. He just kind of forgets he has them, honestly. Or is this Deathstroke? Ah, I think this is Deathstroke actually. Who's also a bad role model, just because he manipulates his Pokemon like he manipulates everything. But Deadshot also, he's yeah, I think this is Deathstroke and this is Deadshot. They're both bad trainers. They're both bad trainers. Um, Deathstroke because of manipulation, Deadshot just basically due to neglect, kind of forgetting he even has them. The Batman who laughs, uh, honestly, like actually kind of tries to take good care of his Pokemon, um, as like kind of a doler of justice. But like the Batman Who Laughs does, he takes care of them in very kind of twisted, misguided ways. Actually, yeah, he's just a bad role model. And like and though like he tries um but no, actually he does wind up getting arrested. He tries to do good, but he does get arrested. I think this is Firefly. Um yeah, Firefly is like too selfish and self-serving, to really be a good Pokemon trainer. I'm like, this is obvious, right? This is obvious. Like, even if you don't factor there's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman. Even if you don't factor that into this, like he still sucks. He's still gonna do a really bad job taking care of other creatures. And if you do factor that into it, he's bottom of the list easy. Hush. Hush does okay. Like like he's Hush is funny because he'll take decent care of his Pokemon and not even think too much of it. Like it's basically just like it's as if he's taking care of like a dog or a cat or something, right? Like he's like, okay, time to it's like, all right, time to feed my Zoroark, like whatever. Like he doesn't like nurture them. He doesn't give them a lot of empathy or care, but he does make sure they're fed and trained and stuff. But he's not very sentimental about it. Um Deathstroke would have a Bisharp. Deadshot would have an Inteleon. Joker would have a Lopunny. Penguin jo- Joker would have like goofy, like funny looking Pokemon, like uh like Pokemon that like initially crack him up, like Ludicolo and stuff, but then he would resent them for being funnier than him. He's getting arrested for sure. Penguin. Now Penguin takes care of penguins. Like, yeah, here's the thing. He takes great care of his Piplup. He takes amazing care of his Piplup. Yeah, Penguin has an Empoleon that would die for him. He's murdering humans left and right, and also like murdering other people's Pokemon. But his Empoleon, and like he has the whole line. He has an Empoleon, he has a Primplump, he has a Piplup. Those are his children. Those are his progeny. Like he would die for all of them. Oh, Victor Zaz. Yeah, no, do not let him near a Pokemon. Oh, I'm still having trouble telling who that is. Is that Deadshot? Oh, whatever. The guys with guns all go here. You want to watch this TV show, TBH? Batman is Lucario versus his Rogues Gallery and their Pokemon. God, I wish Nintendo were that cool. Because DC would be down for it, but Nintendo's not that cool. Hugo Strange. Yeah, Hugo Strange is just kind of a weirdo who should not be responsible for other life, you know? God, I don't know. God, do I have to zoom in more? Who are some of these characters? Hugo Strange definitely experiments on this Pokemon. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. He's getting arrested. Yeah. Yeah, he's getting arrested. God, who is this? Who the fuck? I don't know. Is that maybe Maxi Zeus? Whatever. I'm leaving him down there because I don't know who he is. I'm zooming out again. Ventriloquist and Scarface. Um, probably getting arrested at some point. He can't even really take care of himself very well, you know? Like either his personalities. Um, Manbat, I think, just would if he found him like he's feral and dangerous, but I think like when it comes to like other creatures, no, he eats animals. He eats animals. He eats animals. Scarface is immediately jealous of Ventriloquist Pokemon. Yeah, right, because that's the thing. Like, Ventriloquist would take good care of his Pokemon, and then Scarface would kill them. Maxie Zeus, get over here. A colony of Zubat follow Manbat around like he's their king. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's not a bad point. I think Manbat commits too much murder on other animals and animal like things for him to get higher, but he does get along well with other Zubat. You're right. I think this is Anarchy. I don't really know this character very well. Professor Pig is getting arrested for kind of similar reasons to Hugo Strange. But Hugo Strange's Pokemon like will generally survive. Pigs, Professor Pigs will generally not. Catwoman. Catwoman is just at the top of takes good care of them. She's not really concerned with like training them or like making them compete or like battling with them. But like she has the happiest Perugly in the world. Her her Purloin and her Lipard are like always around her. Like her penthouse is just filled with cat Pokemon, and they're all treated immaculately. They're so happy. They love Selena so much. Um, the Court of All Owls is like a group of people, and I would say that, they take relatively fine care of whatever Pokemon they're assigned to. They there's Noctowls and Hoot Hoots around the Court of Owls, and they're like, they're all like fed and cared for appropriately. Um, Two-Face. Sometimes Two-Face takes really good care of his Girafarig. Uh, and other times, I'd say roughly half the time, he's really mean to his Girafarig. So I say ultimately he's not a very good parental figure. Two-Face is one of those form switching Pokemon too. Oh yeah, something. Like maybe our Darmanitan or something. Yeah. What is that guy? Kind of weird little mask. I don't know. I don't know who that is. Ra's al Ghul is a bad parent, and he wouldn't be a very good Pokemon trainer either. But he would put some effort in, especially like he'd have a Scyther that he's pretty proud of, but ultimately like if you don't curry his favor, you're having a bad time, you know? Scarecrow also experiments on his Pokemon. Victor Freeze has a variety of ice Pokemon in his lair that he's very gentle and kind to. Raish definitely has a Greninja army. Yeah, he does. They're less happy than Talia's Greninja though. Who? Who's this? Is that just Penguin again? That looks like it's just Penguin again. Did I not get Penguin before? Who is this? Oh, wait. Oh, this isn't Penguin. This is Mad Hatter. Um. Mad Hatter has a Gothiel that he names Alice, and it's weird. Not quite getting arrested territory, but people are concerned. Victor standing in front of Nora's capsule with his hand on the glass and then several ice Pokemon hugging around his knees. Yes. This is Penguin. But yes, Penguin takes phenomenal care of his Penguin Pokemon. Mad Hatter's Pokemon enjoy his tea parties, but think he's weird otherwise. Yeah. No, you know, his Pokemon like him, but they're a little Stockholm syndromed, you know? Poison Ivy also takes... Poison Ivy's also... Harley and Ivy are just like a master trader, like power couple, you know? Like, they're both in the Elite Four. You fight Harley, and then you fight Ivy, and then you fight Harley. Harley just has a bunch of like grass and poison types that think the world of her. She's taking such good care of them that that she will call out like a like a variant of a Victory Bell that you've never seen before. Like it's so healthy and so well looked after that it has mutated features that no other Victory Bell has ever manifested before. She's basically like making mega Victory Bells and shit just from the amount of love that she puts into them. Later, you do a double battle against Harley and Ivy that's surprisingly hard for a Pokemon game. Yes, yeah, that's absolutely what happens. Um, but yeah, there you go. That's the Batman Rogues Gallery as Pokemon trainers. Um, yeah, Harley and Ivy are master trainers. Catwoman, Mister Freeze, Penguin, and Talia al Ghul just take really good care of their Pokemon. Um, Riddler, the Court of Owls, and Hush are like decent to mediocre. Um, Killer Croc, Two Face, Firefly, Ra's al Ghul, all the gun and sword guys, and Mad Hatter are basically bad Pokemon parents. And then the Batman Who Laughs, Clayface, Ventriloquist slash Scarface, Black Mask, Man Bat, Hugo Strange, Scarecrow, Victor Zaz, Professor Pig, and Joker should not be allowed near Pokemon at all costs. Okay, there you go. 3 tier lists, baby. 3 tier lists down in the hole. I feel like maybe I should do like one more and then maybe I'll call it for the night and eat the sandwich that's in front of me.